Hello! Welcome back to my podcast, Successful Psychology. I'm your host, Braylon, and I'd like to invite you to cozy up and get ready for today's topic, children and emotional maturity. In the last episode, we explored children's cognitive development. If you're new here, hi! I'm Braylon. Thanks for joining me. I discuss facts backed by research about children's psychological development. I then use those facts to teach you how to be the best parent you can be based on psychology. If you're wondering, why is a teenager giving me parenting advice? Honestly, that's a really good question, and if I were you, I'd be asking the exact same thing. I've always loved children and psychology. The way that the brain works fascinates me. So, when I was presented an opportunity for my school in the IB, International Baccalaureate Program, I thought, why not combine the two? And while I'm at it, why not give stressed out parents who have no time on their hands a helping hand? So whether you're listening in the car, on the couch, or in your AirPods while you're trying to wrestle your toddler to sleep, thank you so much for being here. Our sources for today's episode are the Annie E. Casey Foundation, healthychildren.org, Psychology Today, kidsfirstservice.com, FocusOnYourChild.com, and The Parenting Pro. If you'd like to do any research on your own, all of these sources will be listed in the description below. Please leave a like and or comment down below. If this interests you, feel free to subscribe to my channel. If not, all good. And with that, I'm going to stop yapping and let's get on with today's episode. TheParentingPro.com says, emotional maturity is a vital life skill that enables us to navigate relationships, challenges, and everyday situations with balance and self-awareness. This crucial foundation starts developing early in childhood. Who's the most emotionally mature person you know? I know, it's a pretty hard question to figure out. You're probably sitting here and you're like, how am I supposed to know? I mean, there's plenty of people who are emotionally mature in my life. How am I supposed to figure out who's the most? Well, I guess you can't really figure out who's the most emotionally mature, but there's a few signs. Is there a person who maybe came to mind when I asked you that question? Do you ever think about them and think, wow, they're so empathetic, or I love how self-aware she is? Well, these are a few signs of emotional maturity, along with responsibility, ability to create healthy boundaries, resilience, and more. Okay, another question. When was the last time your child had a meltdown? Right now? 3 minutes ago? 3 weeks ago? What was this meltdown about? Your child being able to be 100% open and honest with you, whether it's the good or the bad, is a sign of comfort. So, if a meltdown occurs, you should feel good about your parenting. They feel comfortable enough with you to seek support. While I know it's easier said than done, remind yourself that you're doing great and there's no guide to parenting. Though meltdowns happen, preventing them and knowing how to handle them is best for everyone involved. So now that you've thought about when your child's last meltdown was, now think, what was this meltdown about? Maybe they couldn't explain how they were feeling. A kid who is uncomfortable expressing their emotions might do better discussing others' feelings, like characters in books or characters on TV's feelings. Maybe try saying, Dora looked pretty sad when Boots took his toy. What do you think she was feeling? This will expose your child to the vocabulary they need to express themselves. Or maybe your child didn't understand where mom and dad told them no. Solving problems isn't always about choosing the solution perceived as correct, but allowing your kids to become comfortable in making decisions and learning from natural consequences. For example, oh no, you're dropping all your books. Should we try a bag or pockets? Obviously, the right answer is a bag. But let's say your kid says pockets. Once they realize pockets aren't working, they're never going to choose pockets again. It's like a process of elimination. Sometimes you just have to allow them to eliminate the wrong choice. Being emotionally tough isn't about suppressing your intense emotions at all. It's actually about working with your emotions and finding ways to work them into healthy reactions. Teach your child calming strategies for pre-meltdown emotions, stress balls, counting down from 10, breathing exercise, counting the things around them, etc. Whatever works for you might even work for your child. For younger children, let's say 7 and below, try a feeling thermometer. You can show your child the different levels and what to do at each level. When your child has a meltdown, look for opportunities to use these methods. It's never too late to enforce these skills. Start small. Weave these expectations into smaller tasks and expectations. One component of developing your child's emotional maturity is open communication. Imagine you start a new job and you're so excited. You're like, this has so many opportunities and it's crucial for my future and I'm so excited. And you get there and you're doing your job and you have to print something. But you're having these problems with printing and they've been non-stop for weeks. And you're like, okay, like I can't do this anymore. And then you suddenly remember, oh my gosh, first day of work, the boss said, come to me with any issues. So you're like, okay, great. Get up, leave your desk, and you walk to your boss's office. And you get there, there's a sign on the door and it says tech office for any printing issues. And you're like, okay, whatever, fine. So you walk to the tech office and you get there, whatever, you're walking, you get to the door, you look up, bam, there's a sign in your face that says, go to the boss for printing issues. You're so stressed. You're like, oh my God, like, I'm new to this job. What do I do? Like, da da da. Because you don't want to upset your boss, but then you matter and you need to be able to do your job. But you're so nervous that you don't tell your boss and you freak out, you go back to your desk, you can't print, you can't do your job. And since you can't do your job, you're eventually going to lose this job. Don't make your kids live in this office. You and your co-parent are not perfect. And that's okay because no one is and no one can be. But a crucial component of your kid and their emotional development and maturity is that open communication. Don't be a tech office and a boss's office. Instead, take the signs down and leave the door open. Allow your kid to come and go as they please. So maybe you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, okay, Braylon, that all sounds great. But I'm not a talker. I'm really not a communicator. I hate feeling vulnerable. I don't talk about my feelings. I don't want to do that with my kids because I don't want them to see me as weak and this and that. And blah, 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 blah. Okay, take a deep breath. It's okay. All of that is completely normal and okay. That's okay. I'm a talker. I mean, that's why I have a podcast. But not everyone is, and that's okay because everyone's different. But the good news is that it's everybody's first time living too. You, your child, the cat, your dog, the birds outside, the squirrels, even your grumpy in-laws. You're all living for the first time. And there are plenty methods to start and maintain that open communication. So you just have to find what works for you and your child and your family as a whole. Okay, new or soon-to-be parents, listen up. The biggest advice for new or soon-to-be parents that I found in my research is talk to your babies, even when they can't talk back. That way, they'll see you communicating, and they're going to internalize that no matter how old they are. When they're older, they'll be able to mimic this behavior. You could also sing to your baby. Even if you're thinking, okay, no, I will literally hurt that child with my voice, it's okay. I mean, it's my personal belief that everyone can carry a tune. You don't have to be a belter to be able to sing a lullaby to your baby. And once your child is old enough to mimic these behaviors, actively listen to them. Coming from a kid does not want to be vulnerable and express themselves if they don't feel seen or feel heard. And God forbid they're already someone who doesn't like to talk about their feelings, and then they open up and they don't feel heard. It's not good. On top of that, talk to your child whenever. Try to avoid saying, oh, now's not really a good time, can't really talk right now. I mean, obviously there's going to be times where you can't. Like, you can't talk to your kid about their feelings or ask them how they're feeling while, like, your arm is falling off or you're, like, falling down the stairs. That's just not realistic. But just try your best to make it an open space whenever. And when you have these open discussions, ask them open-ended questions. Ask your kid questions they have to build on. So, like, instead of saying, oh, Johnny, how's your day? And he's just gonna say, oh, it's good. So instead, say, oh, Johnny, who did you play with at recess? Okay, what did you guys play? He'll tell you a story. I mean, really, he'll be forced to, but he won't know that because he's a kid. But discussion is no good if your kid doesn't understand the feeling that they are feeling. Luckily for you, there are plenty of ways to teach your child to understand and manage their emotions. First, be sure to verbally acknowledge your child's emotion and name the emotion. Instead of saying, "I understand you're in a bad mood. I understand you're upset." Say, "I see that made you angry and frustrated. Is that correct?" After this, validate the emotion. Say something like, "It's okay to feel angry. Everyone feels angry. I feel angry sometimes when I drop my phone." The next one is super important, and that's meeting the need of the emotion. Even though sometimes yelling at your child and sending them to their room to think about their actions can be a lot easier than dealing with it, it's so important to give them what they need. Sometimes your kid doesn't need to be yelled at. They just need you to hold them and be there for them while they go through this emotion. After you handle their emotional needs, sharing calm down methods such as breathing exercise, muscle relaxation, and mental imagery can help your child manage these emotions to avoid another meltdown in the future. So, how can you, as a parent, further help your child build these skills? Well, there are plenty of methods. Have meals together. Establish a regular bedtime. Encourage a strict homework routine. Create strict chore routines. Dedicate playtime. Prioritize one-on-one time. Set limits and clear consequences. Act how you want your kids to, and applaud positive behavior. All of these methods show your kids that there are different times for different emotions, and that boundaries for different situations are very important and can be very different, and that is completely normal. Feel free to take a screenshot of the screen for any of these methods. Highlighting your child's wins is so important for their confidence and maturity. When they see you build them up, they'll want to do that for the same because they look up to you and because they know how good it feels. Everyone is good at one thing or another. Some people are really good at math and science. I'm not one of those people. Some people are really good at English and history and thrive in that environment. Others think they're horrible at school, but they're so good at sports, or they're really good at music. These types of intelligences are what are known as Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. This theory includes 8 types of intelligences: musical, kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, linguistic, mathematical, naturalistic, and visual. In his 1983 book, Frames of Mind, Howard Gardner proposes that all people have intelligence, but each person's profile differs based on genetics and/or experiences. In this book, Gardner defines intelligence as a biopsychological potential to process information that can be activated in a cultural setting to solve problems or create products that are of value in a culture. As a parent, it is your job to raise successful and sufficient children. By highlighting your children's success in any of these areas, they will feel more confident and develop stronger personalities. Parents should try to identify their children's profiles in each category and consider that when dealing with sticky situations. If your child gets a bad grade on their French test, it doesn't mean that they're lazy. It doesn't mean that they're not trying. They might just not be the best at writing. If your child is antisocial, it doesn't mean that you need to be concerned. It just might mean that they aren't a people person, and that's okay. Your child isn't defined by their emotional maturity, but you, as a parent, should want the best for your child, as I'm sure you do. Using the methods discussed in today's episode can help you achieve that. Feel free to do any research using the sources I use, which will be linked in the description below. Remember, being able to work with each child's struggles and strengths is a skill in itself. Knowing how to use that for the benefit of the child and yourself is a superpower. Thank you all so much for watching today's episode and listening to my thoughts and taking parenting advice from a teenager. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.